Hey y'all, we back and we're gonna hop straight into this face. We're gonna start first with skincare. I'm gonna start with my Tatcha the Dewy Skin Cream. It's supposed to have all these health benefits. I'm not really sure if it has it, but it does help my skin feel moisturized. And I have dry skin due to the retinol that I'm on to get rid of my scarring, so I like to make sure I'm moisturized. Then, because I have a couple wrinkles and fine lines, I like to use this Milani face oil. It's like a prep oil, and I just put that kind of underneath my eye and the crease that I have under my lip. There's like little creasing that I get there in my smile lines and stuff like that, and I just want everything to be smooth and covered, so I go in with that first, and then I'll go ahead and prime. And this is just for primer. I'm gonna use my Milk Hydro Grip just for longevity. And I wanted to try something new, so I grabbed my Chanel powder because it's pretty light, and I want to set my primer today. And then I'm going to use my setting spray, you know, just to melt that into the skin. But I've seen this trick all over the internet, basically TikTok, Instagram, and I basically just wanted to try it out and see if it'll keep my makeup on longer. The setting spray that I use is the Charlotte Tilbury because she's that girl, apparently. And my foundation, I know y'all sick of seeing this because I am too, is my Nars All Day Weightless something luminous, that one, yep, in the shade Macao. And we're just gonna go ahead and put that onto the skin. I like to go and like smaller little dabs across my face, and then go ahead and blend it in with like a kind of flat brush, like, but it's like fluffy at the same time. I don't know, but it's like the perfect brush for me to spread the foundation on my face and blend it into my skin. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and give it the pat 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 motions and get that base even, skin like flawless. And for my girls that got the acne scars under your chin, don't forget to get the bottom half of your face, because that's important too, sis. Like, for real, don't forget about that, because sometimes I be rushing and try to get it done, but you have to blend that down a little bit, especially underneath your chin. I don't know, that's still like neck face area, I don't know what you want to call that, but just make sure you get that part blended and covered too, because you don't want to look up and then you see your foundation stops at your jawline. Like, you got to drag that down. Just don't forget that part, okay? Three hours later, so like, just now that we're done with blending our foundation, we're going to go into concealer. I got this sample card from the last time I made an order with Sephora from the Too Faced Born This Way collection, and I wanted to try. I did pick up one a few months ago, but it was just the wrong shade. So because of that, I'm going to use this card that I was given to kind of figure out what my correct shade is. So if you guys ever are ordering online and they have the option to get the sample cards, I would suggest you do so that you're not like in the dark when you're trying to go buy products. But yeah, I'm going to use the shade that is closest to my skin tone and go ahead and blend that in. I didn't pick up that one. I picked up the lighter shade, so I can't really remember what this one's called. But I'm going to go ahead and put that where I kind of have a little extra scarring or my bags are peeking through. Yeah, we're going to hide those with a little bit concealer. So that's basically what I'm doing now. I had to go back and look. I got it for y'all. The shade is called Chestnut. And the shade that I use to brighten, which will come up in a second, is Sand. Don't say I be slacking, because I got y'all. And here's a little insert of me struggling to get this package open. Like, I get why they had to make it secure, because when they shipping it, they don't want it to explode everywhere. But damn, what do y'all have on this? Gorilla Glue? Like, for real, I gotta get in there. But yeah, this brightening shade is called Sand, and I realized after I slathered, whatever the word is, plastered it across my face, that I used way too much concealer. You do not have to use this much. This concealer will stretch and pretty much go a long way. So less is more, which is usually the rule of thumb, but I don't know why today I just went a little overboard. I really just wanted to test everything out, got a little too excited. You know how that be. So I'm gonna go ahead and go under my eye, and I like to drag it to the sides of my nose, because when I put concealer under my eye, I'm basically starting my nose contour. And yeah, then I'm gonna go ahead and put it in between my brows, because I started doing that again. And you know, just trying to shape my face out, trying to figure out different things, different methods, what looks good, what I like, what I don't like. So I dragged it down, kind of shaped around my nose. And yeah, then we're gonna start to use the foundation stick from Juvia's place in the shade, never know how to say it, but I'll have it linked down below because it's like the perfect contour shade for me. But I don't use it on my nose. I use the Fenty on my nose. If you watch me, you guys know. I think the other one is a little too deep to go on my nose. I like my nose contour to be more subtle than my cheeks. So you don't want it to be harsh, make your nose look like beefy. You guys know what I'm talking about. Have you ever seen it? Like, it's real beefy if it goes too dark. And yeah, we're gonna put some concealer underneath those contour lines. Yeah, I just started trying this and I actually like it. Not a lot, just a teensy. Okay, so basically earlier I stated that I pretty much used too much concealer. So when I'm taking this brush, key tip, when you use a brush you have more coverage. If you use a sponge, not necessarily that you'll have less coverage, but the sponge will soak up some of the product. So that's another reason why I was having a little trouble blending out the concealer that I had, on top of the fact that I used too much to begin with. But yeah, I'm taking this brush from Real Techniques because it's a really good sponge for blending out concealer and setting your face. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the outskirts just to make sure that's blended, and then I work my way to being directly underneath my eye. But the places where I wanted to look really soft and blended and blown out, I go ahead and start with those first, because I still want the most coverage to be, you know, directly in my inner corner of my eyes, underneath where, you know, where my bags and stuff sit. So I'm just gonna slowly take my time and blend it. There should be no rushing when you're blending out your concealer, especially like, whoo, wait a minute. Can we appreciate how this is just softly blending together? Ooh, got distracted. But you just really want to make sure you are taking your time to blend your concealer. There shouldn't really be a rush, like, because when you're rushing, that's when you start coming out patchy and looking scary. And we just really don't need that, sis. We just don't. And yeah, I wanted to make sure I just blended everything out and took my time. For some people this part is like really therapeutic, because you take your time, you focus on making sure you have no harsh lines, and if you do, you can always just go into the brush that you used your foundation for and just go ahead and blend around where you think you need a little extra blending. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here. Went back in with that brush that I used, and we're gonna start to blend the concealer that we put down, or the foundation sticks from Juvia's place. And I was just going in like patting motions and then pushing it up, because I don't want it to really move beneath where I put that extra lighter concealer underneath. So I'm kind of just taking the brush and pushing the product up to sculpt my cheekbones that I already have. And we're gonna go ahead and blend out the forehead. Basically, this is the time where you focus and blend. You already got everything where you want it, and now your job is just to blend. And look at that. Yep. So this side we got to get to work. We're gonna go ahead and basically do the same thing. I was looking at my brush because it's kind of like an angled brush. It has a certain curve to it, so I want to make sure that it sits against my face properly, so I can get the blending effect done easy without being overboard. So that's pretty much gonna be the same thing, blending out the contour, and then we'll go ahead and blend out this under eye situational mess, extra concealer job thing. And I know y'all can see that difference. Look at that, way more blended than it was before. Look at that. Just push it right into the skin. You don't want to drag it down too much. And because that product is already on my brush, I'm just going to take the rest of it and sculpt my jawline. Then we're back with the under eye. The most important thing to do at this point is tapping motions. You already have the product where you want it to stay. We've already taken care of blending out the outskirts where we place that concealer, so pretty much tapping motions just to make sure that concealer is set in place where you want it to be. And then this is when I realized that I used too much concealer so I just blended it away on my eye because I had to find somewhere to put this product, y'all. I went a little too crazy because I really like the undertone of this concealer and I was really excited about it. But yeah, so I'm just using tapping motions, and then when I have a little bit too much concealer, I just dragged it onto my eyes, and that could pretty much be like my base for when I put shadow down. And also I had a towel handy on the side of me to wipe off the extra, because I mean realistically I didn't need to keep all the concealer in the first place, so I did clean off my brush a little bit. But I think I cut that part out just so you guys can remain focused on what's important, and that is blending. Alright, and because I used too much concealer, I did kind of make some of my nose contour disappear. So that's why I just put that one little line back where my nose is supposed to be contoured, just to replace the fact that I used way too much concealer. And this is when I take a brush with no product on it and make sure I have no harsh lines. So this is when I really make sure everything is blended between my nose contour and my bright under eye concealer shade, and just get to work. Make sure everything is soft, blended together. You don't want it to mush together because then it kind of defeats the purpose of you contouring your nose to begin with. So I just take a clean brush and make sure the edges are smoothed out and they blend into each other. I really hope that makes sense, but the key word for this whole video is going to be blend. Blending is key. Blending will make your base look flawless, and blending is what helps you get that look. Okay, take your time and blend. You did not put these products on for them to not look blended, because your natural face has a blend. Everything blends together. Make sure that makeup is blended. Take your time and blend. Even if you gotta switch back and forth brush to brush, blend that shit, girl. Blend it. Alright, so we're going to take this liquid blush. This one is from Shein in the shade Float On. And we're going to put that in the areas in between my contour and underneath my highlight. Just to give my cheeks some more dimension. You know, give it a whole little extra little something there. And then we're just going to blend. Alright, so now it's pretty much time for me to start blending that line where I put a little bit of that extra concealer underneath my contour. I'm just going to go in tapping motions and make sure that everything is blended together and nothing is just standing out, because what did I say earlier? Blending is key. And to set my makeup, I've been using the Mercier translucent honey powder mixed with the Fenty powder, the kind of whiter shade, just because I do like the undertone of the Mercier, but I like that the Fenty one gives me a little bit brightening. I don't think it's the banana one, but I'm gonna look up the name of it. And the shade is called Butter, and basically I use that under my eye to set my concealer, to make sure there's no creases and everything is blended, brightened, and set, ready to go. Alright, and I'm not really sure where I got this trick from. I'm sure it's from another makeup artist that I've probably seen on Instagram or YouTube. But I'm taking a flat foundation brush and some of that setting powder that I mixed together, and I'm pretty much going to bake the sides of my nose. I think I do bake the sides of my nose twice in this video, but it's because I think I wiped the bake away a little too early. The purpose of baking the sides of your nose is so that your nose gets that snatched effect whenever you're done with your makeup. You do kind of make sure it's blended whenever you melt the rest of the powder in with the setting spray, but when you take photos and everything like that, the nose just still put together and snatch. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and set underneath my contour with the rest of that powder, and my smile lines, and just pretty much everywhere that I think needs a little extra setting before I go ahead and bronze the face. And because most people know blush and bronzer doesn't last long on the face, I have picked up this trick to use eyeshadows. The eyeshadow palette that I'm actually using is from Juvia's place, and I'm going to go into the orange, brown, and yellow shades just to get the perfect, you know, warm orangey shade. I'm not really going to be using any powder bronzer in this video, so I just wanted to give the orange blush essentially, or orange eyeshadow blush hack as a go in this video. And I actually really liked how it looked. It wasn't as harsh, it was super soft on the face when I was finished, and it's more like an everyday type of look, and versus using the powder bronzer that I usually use from Juvia's place, or Black Radiance. This gives you more of like a softer look, and I feel like this is more beginner friendly because you can just pretty much go ahead and put it over the cheekbones, and you don't have to be so worried about where you're putting, you know, that contour line at. Alright, so after I dusted that powder away for the initial set, I'm going to go through again and make sure I bake the sides of my nose. This time I'm using a smaller brush just to get it exactly where I want it to be, and it's not as, you know, messy. It's a little bit more controlled, and then I'll get the super snatch look that I want. I'm going to use my Fenty Match stick, the highlighter one, and I'm going to put it at the tip of my nose, and then on the sides of my nose, and down the center. I'm going to take my powder foundation and make sure everything is blended together and has like an overall together type of look. I'm not really sure of how to explain this part, but it's basically like all those powders that I put down, I want to make sure everything is blended with a nice even colored base. And this pretty much takes away the flashback effect that you would get whenever you take photographs. And yeah, then we're gonna start working on these eyebrows. Yeah, I know y'all was waiting on them because they was looking a mess, but we got them. So I'm gonna brush up the hairs, you know, get all the extra powder or debris out of them, and start to fill in the brows. I can't see what pencil I'm using today, but it's either my Morphe or what could it be? Yeah, so it's my Morphe in the shade Cold Brew, and I'm gonna go ahead with light strokes and start to fill in my brows. Everybody's brows are different, so if you guys just enjoy watching people do their brows, this is what's gonna happen. But I can't really tell you how to fill your brows if I don't see the shape of your brows. But basically, just fill them in to the best of your ability, and make sure you get the arch right and everything like that. And if you mess up, you can just use your finger to wipe the excess away like I just did, and then move on to the next brow, fill that in, and then we're going to clean it up with concealer. I am using that same Born This Way Too Faced concealer in the shade Tan to clean up under my eyebrows. I basically start directly underneath where my arch is because that's where I want most of the color payoff, and then after that I go ahead and just blend towards the tail, and then I take the excess towards the front. Because the color is so light, I don't necessarily want to start directly under my eyebrows, because the part that I want to get the most highlighted and lifted look is directly under my arch. Take this dense brush. I'm not really sure what this brush is called, but I know it's a Morphe brush. I'll try to insert somewhere on the screen what the name of it is, but I actually really like this sponge. I actually really like this brush for blending out things because it's nice and dense, and you pretty much just push the product and it blends it for you basically. Like, this brush does all the work, and that's why I like it, and I bought 2 or 3 for myself. And now we're gonna be getting into highlighter. The highlighter that I'm using is from Juvia's place. It came with their ice collection. I can't really remember what that collection's called, but I got it for like this winter wonderland look. But it was in like this package, and I think you got the eyeshadow palette and the highlighter for like $9 or $12, or I'll try to insert a picture of what it looks like, because I actually like this highlighter. It gives you like a blue, pink, silvery gold. I can't really describe it, but it like gives you so many different colors, and it gives you so many just a nice, ooh, it just looks good on like the skin really, because they have so many different pearl reflexes, I guess you can call it, but it looks really good on the skin. It's not the typical like golden highlighter. Then we're gonna go ahead and start to line the lips. I used the NYX nutmeg first, and then I went over top of it with Juvia's place in Kola, just like the center, like the actual outer line of my lips, because I didn't really want Kola all over my lips today, because Kola is a little bit more deeper brown, and I kind of wanted a soft look. And I go ahead and put this lip gloss on. This lip gloss is from Makeup Revolution in the shade Candy. It's their plumping gloss. It's like a nice little baby pink, and that was the look I was kind of going for today. So this one, and then I think on top of it I used another liquid lipstick from Makeup Revolution in what is it, in chocolate chip cookie, I think. And just to add some color to the face, I am going to use my Black Radiance palette, and I'm going to use that bronzer, the middle shade. I'm going to pack that all over my lid. It's like the perfect like orangey brown for my skin tone. So I learned this technique from when I was doing the bronzer with this palette, and then I just popped it on the lid. But I actually just like the overall warm brown shade it gives me. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that all over my eyelid, because I'm not gonna do any intricate eye looks today. This is just supposed to be like a nice quick little 35 minute beat, you know. After that, it's time to add lashes. I used the Duo lash glue, the green one with the wand, and I basically just lined very, very close near my lash line, natural lash line, and then I just popped the lashes on top. These are the lashes that I'm using. I believe I got these off of Amazon. It was just like a nice little 8-pack, and yeah, they like fit my face pretty well. I did trim them a lot because I have really tiny eyes, but I just like how they are like kind of like not long, but like not too long, like full but not too full. And then I'm just using that brush that I said I liked, and I'm pushing any extra setting powder into the places that I know I get oily at. And yeah, this is pretty much the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, because it was really fun doing it. 2 things that I basically wanted to try was the orange blush instead of the bronzer, and I also wanted to try out the concealers from Too Faced. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, leave any questions in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next one. Love you. Bye.